Thank you.
Okay, so I am super excited to introduce Kristen Carlin, who is the manager of Alan Kenoyer Glass, and Cindy Hoffman, who I have dubbed the creative director. That's what I said she is. Kristen and Cindy have been with Alan Kenoyer Glass for many years. Yeah. When I used to work at the Galleria, so it's on Artesia Boulevard, right at the intersection of Kingsdale. And I used to work at the Galleria, and I would drive by it every day, and I'd sit at that stoplight and say, I really want to take stained glass lessons. And I pretty much have said that for 20 years. So finally, this past winter, I went there and I made the most beautiful jellyfish wind chime that they'll show you what they look like. And they'll give us a great tour of the studio there, where they have lots of amazing classes. And they also do a lot of beautiful custom work, which Bob and Astrid can tell us a little bit about too. So take it away, Kristen and Cindy. Thank you for being here.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. So first, I'd like to give a little bit of information about the company. So most people will call up and ask for Alan, and that doesn't exist. So the whole place kind of started back in 1978, or a little before then. Lisa and Stan Allen bought a house in Manhattan Beach. Stan was a freelance commercial artist, decided that he wanted a stained glass window, and he designed it himself. And then he tried to figure out how to make it and realized he couldn't do it. So he hired somebody down in Long Beach, kind of watched the whole process, and decided to teach himself stained glass in their garage. And Lisa kind of tagged along with him and learned it as well. And they started talking to a friend of theirs who had done stained glass out in Hawaii about, maybe we ought to open up a business down here. And so that was the start of it. It was Stan Allen and Jerry Kenoyer. So the name of the company is Alan Kenoyer. And Lisa was still working at another job at the time, but she was like helping with books and everything and helping out. And after about 3 years, the guys decided, you really can't make it the way they wanted to in this field. It just wasn't paying the bills. So Stan went back to being a commercial artist, and Jerry went back to being a contractor. And Lisa said, instead of closing it, let me see what I can do and see if I can make a go of it. So Lisa kept it going, and we're still alive and well. Probably about 6 years ago, she started not working as much, and probably about 4 years ago, completely, I would say 99.9% retired. She still owns it, but she doesn't do much. She makes a cameo here and there, and her name's still on the deed. So that's kind of the deal. But so that's kind of how the story goes. And we can always tell a cold call, because we get those phone calls for Alan Kenoyer, and it's Alan there. So we always go, yeah, nope, he's not here. Thank you. So it's pretty easy, but that's kind of how it started. Cindy started here, 2007 with Mosaics, right?
No, 2004, I took a class in Mosaics. 2005, stained glass. In 2007, I was really bored and asked the owner if I could work here. So, and once I offered to clean toilets, I was hired.
And yeah. So, and then my story, I was kind of really, I always loved stained glass. It was not something I could do. I was a single mom with 2 boys, and they were in the Maricosta Band. And we used to give the graduating seniors a little stained glass angel in green and gold colors as their guardian angels going off onto their next adventure.
Nice.
And one year, the place that we used to order it from wouldn't do them in the colors for us anymore. So I hand painted them all. And then the next year, they wouldn't even make the small ones anymore. So I approached Lisa and she said, nope, won't do them for you, but I'll teach you how. And so I learned how to make these little angels, and I really wanted to take all the other classes. I couldn't afford it. My grandmother knew about this, and not too long after that, she passed, and she had made a contingency in the will. She left me $3,000 for stained glass classes, not to be spent on anything else, but
Oh,
stained
wow.
glass supplies, or else it went to her charity. And, you know, because she knew I would spend it on my boys, or I'd spend it on bills or something else. And I started taking every class they offered here, and she never got rid of me. So I kind of moved in. I still do work another full-time job to make ends meet, make my mortgage. But this is where my love is, and I'd love to make it where it's successful enough where I don't have to work the other job. So, but yeah, so that's kind of our little story. So we'd love to take you around the store. So I'll flip the camera around and kind of give you a little tour, and then we'll talk about some of the stuff we do. All right.
Great.
So I'll try not to be too crazy. Let's see if I can figure out how to flip the camera. Let's see. There we go. Come on, there we go. All right, can you guys see the shop?
Yes.
Okay, so basically all along, this is our west wall. This is all stained glass. And I like to tell people it's a misnomer because we do not stain the glass. We bring it in already pre-made in colors by the manufacturer. Now, right up here, we have this beautiful board of colors, but you're not gonna be able to see it very well because it's too dark outside to shine through. But I like to tell people that we, let's see, I'm gonna pull out a piece of glass. So anything that has pink in it, they literally make it with gold. So it's our expensive glass, but we have lots of stuff. And then we have lots of, you know, we have some Tiffany style lamps. We have some projects up on the wall from classes and everything. And then we have everything hanging everywhere. And I'll start showing you some jellyfish. We have all different jellyfish hanging around here. These are some earlier ones. This is part of our cutting area where we do a lot of glass cutting. It's kind of a mess right now because I was cutting some glass. And let's see, like I said, we have a very small space, and we use every square inch. So if you could see the light behind them, like you can kind of see some stained glass right here. Those are some of our beginning stained glass projects. These are some of the choices. And we graduate probably 2 classes a month in stained glass, and they have about 20 choices, and these are 3 of them. And then this is one of Cindy's really neat creations. This is a freestanding 6-foot tall sunflower out of stained glass. Yeah, you can see
It's
Cindy
big.
next to her. That she developed the technique to make it, and as far as I know, nobody else has figured it out.
No, we teach it once a year.
So yeah, she teaches it once a year, and it's an advanced course. So, and then we've got some of our other just, you know, beautiful things. Some of the stuff is, I would say most of it is our designs. Some of them are others, like this is a guy, Justin Benke, who makes some amazing things. And Cindy just got published for this one. So
And you can't see it
you
right
can't
now.
see it, but it's a green man. I'm gonna see if I can zoom in. You can kind of see his face in there.
Yes. Oh, wow.
So in the daylight, it just glows beautifully. But he was published in a magazine, and he asked, because he loved her color choices so much, if he could use her picture in it. So that was pretty cool.
Wow.
But so then we come around here, and here's one of our beautiful jellyfish, a little up close. That Mickey absolutely loved that class. I see you clapping. I'm going to let Cindy start talking about some of the classes. This is Cindy's very first piece that she did when she came to Ellen Kenoyer.
Yep.
So that is our Mosaic Madness class. It's a glass on glass mosaic. And let's see.
Try this.
Oh, she's going to try something. See? No, it really didn't lighten up. She tried to put a flashlight behind it, see if it would show up better. Really didn't change. But so that's a beginning class that we teach all the time that is not, no experience required. Now, yours isn't necessarily going to look like that, but it's really neat. And then these are some advanced classes. This is one of our shadow art pieces. So you can see the peacock in the foreground with the shadowing behind it. And then Cindy's going to flip it around. And this way you see the flowers in the foreground and the peacock in the shadow. And this is done on a 1-inch thick billet of glass. As you can see how thick it is. So it's definitely an art piece as opposed to something more functional. We have a few of those. We also do a lot of work in the kilns. And oh, this one's got a glare, but I'm going to see if this other one will be better. So you can see that better. Let's try it. Sorry, quick move. So this glass was a bunch in the background, the blues and the blacks was a bunch of scrap glass that we did through what's called a bubble pot and melted it and created a new piece of glass. And then Cindy created the copper foil technique on top. See the crows?
Yeah.
On that one. So that one's kind of a cool. On this, there's another shadow art. Here's a hummingbird on another piece of glass that we made. So those are all just neat techniques. And like I said, you're going to see jellyfish everywhere. We love our jellyfish. This is one of our fused waves for our fused wave class. That's a beginning class. Another one of our beginning patterns. So we do a lot of stuff, and including, we try to use up lots of scrap glass. So if you see this seahorse, the seahorse itself was made out of smashed Carnival glass. So some old Carnival glass from the 70s that was chipped, we smashed it up smaller and used it. And this was done with a resin technique. So it looks like glass, but it's resin. So here's another jellyfish.
Oh, show her my new one.
Oh,
Mickey,
here's
look.
There's a new one. There's a new pink one. So, and then, like I said, and then this is another art piece that Cindy did right here. And here's another wave. And then this is another one. Now you can see the big chunkiness of the Carnival glass. If we zoom in, you can actually sometimes see some of the designs in it. So, but this one's really thick. And it's just a way to not throw away glass, keep reusing the art. Some of the glass we use is like if somebody orders a tempered shelf and they invariably measured wrong. Well, you can't trim down tempered glass. So we'll take it and we'll shatter it, and then we will create something else with it. So like, for instance, that wreath up there was done with shattered tempered glass. So to give you an idea. And then we also have a kiln. So we do a lot of things, like I said, between the jellyfish and plates and whatnot in the kiln. And let's see, what else? Gotta go, oops, sorry, I'm gonna go fast for a second. So, and then here's some beautiful pieces that we've made. A lot of them are for sale. Art pieces, bowls.
Samples of class.
Yeah, class samples. So trying to not go too fast and be able to see everything here.
Christine,
Yes.
what's the definition of carnival glass?
Carnival glass is something from the 70s that they used to make. It was this big chunky.
I think it was way back actually in the 50s. And it was real thick glass. And if you remember it, most of it came in like ambers and everything. And it's in a lot of antique stores now. And it has an iridescence on it. It's just an old antique vase or drinking glass plate, things like that.
Often footed and stuff, but they were really chunky. So, and then we were working on, and we haven't been able to get it together, but Mickey had talked about possibly seeing if we could do a fundraiser. And so we kind of came up with a couple smaller versions of our wave class, but we haven't quite figured out the logistics to do something like that, to do something so we could do a fundraiser for you guys, but we're working on it. But so anyway, so lots of stuff. And then as Bob and Astrid know, we do custom work, we do repairs. So when we do custom work, we have, people come in with design ideas and whatnot, and then we'll take the design, do it really small, blow it up, and then create their window. So this is one that we've done recently for a customer. It's a mermaid with a turtle. I don't have anything here that's currently actively going, but I just thought you guys like to see a cartoon. This is a full-size one that we did a series of 3 cabinets for a lady in her bathrooms. And then we do all kinds of repairs.
This was a church repair
Yeah, so here's a church repair.
that they took out and someone else put in that
And
was broken. And I'm actually taking all the broken pieces that were in it that we removed. And I'm making a custom cross with all those pieces.
this was like a family heirloom. So it was important to them to keep all the glass. So she's turning something else in. This is just one that came in that, boy, is that a mess in the back that we're going to repair. And this is a piece that's in very close to being in progress. She's going to untape it for you. This is a gentleman's kitty cat. And you can see his cat down below.
We just have to finish the eyes.
Yeah, we're on to painting the eyeballs and then we'll be done. So it gives you kind of an idea of, he gave us that thing, but he said, no, I want him on my red couch, or so we kind of rearranged it. So we do all kinds of repairs, and he actually had 3 cats in his original one, but it was such a mess. He said, let's just do this cat. She was my favorite.
That we probably made back in 1978.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a piece that we were probably made in 78. It was just a mess. So, but let's see, we haven't talked about resin at all. Let me come over the resin waves. So if I
There's
come
some up
over
there, too.
here, I'm gonna come over here. This is our big kiln. It's about 22 inches across. It keeps us busy.
Here.
Hold on a second. She's gonna open it up. So you can see there's the heating element. We're doing a few firings in there tonight. Those
These are custom taillights off a bike that's about 100 years old, a German motorcycle.
so
And the guy's sister made the molds, so we're going to make custom taillights to replace the old ones.
So we get some really neat requests sometimes, and sweet gentlemen. So we're hoping that everything goes well. And then up here on this wall, another one of our resin classes, which is our breaking waves, where this is no glass. This is all done with resin and paints and sand and local sand.
It's a technique to do the movement in the waves.
Yeah, so how to get those waves going. So we do that one. And that's a fun class. We try to have a few classes around so that our students that do glass.
That was a repair.
Oh yeah, here's another repair. This was a big repair. So this actually came from Boonville, California, to be repaired. So we have people that know us, that come back to us. Oh, let's see. There's Fred. This was the owner's cat that we've immortalized. And then all these in here, these are all molds. So different things that we can shape in the kiln and make different things. This down here, right here, those are the molds we make the jellyfish on. Those are really expensive molds. They're IKEA stainless steel bowls that were like $4 each. But some of these molds are really impressive. And then up in the back, all the way across up there, are all bins full of more molds. I think we have about 200 molds now. So anyway, I think I've covered everything. Mickey, can you think of anything else?
Well, can you tell us a little bit about the classes? You talked about beginners classes. Does that mean it's just one night and it's like 2 hours, or how does it work? I know the class that I took, it was 2 nights and maybe 4 hours each class, 3 hours.
I'll explain. So our major class is copper foil. So this being one of the examples of the 20 patterns they get to pick from, they come in, this is a 5-week course, 2.5 hours a week.
And a little bit of homework.
And a little bit of homework. And they come in, they learn how to cut glass and pattern the first week. The second week, they're actually cutting their own glass. In the first week, we're giving them just clear glass to randomly cut. The third week, they'll come back and learn how to solder and,
No, grind.
oh, they grind, right?
The noisy week. We
The
try to forget.
noisy week, and they get all the glass to fit. And then they'll come back with all their pieces foiled. So their homework is to go home and foil. They'll come back and they'll solder it. Then the last week, they're framing it, putting their hooks on, adding the patina to it, and they walk out so excited. So excited. So that's our one major class. The other one, which is like she was showing you earlier on the mosaics, we could actually go over to this one's
Okay, well,
different.
that's cut mosaic, so.
It's okay. So this is, our mosaics are glass on glass. So if it was daytime, you would actually be able to see through this piece, just like a stained glass window. And that was taught long before I came here, one of my first classes, and I absolutely loved it. And there's no, you don't have to learn how to cut glass or anything. You learn in one class how to nip it, how to start it, how to get it together. You go home, you take your time. Someone came back after like 12 or 15 years to grout. And, you know, when I did it, the flowers down there that she showed you my first piece, I was full-time going crazy out in sales, traveling everywhere. The only piece I ever timed 40 some hours on that piece, and I had less than 2 weeks to do it. So I give my students all the time they want to finish their mosaic. It's a leisure thing. It's one of the coolest things because you can sit in front of the TV and do. You don't need a studio or anything like that. Those are our two main running courses for a ton of years. Another one, and Kristen just finished a beautiful piece. This one up here is traditional lead. That's what they always did windows with. That's what we do. We did Bob's front door.
Yeah.
And in that lead technique. That used to be a very steady course when I first started. Every other class was copper foil lead, copper foil lead. This has fallen to the wayside, but everyone who takes copper foil ends up wanting to learn it. There's a special use for it. It's exterior. And there's a certain beauty to the lines in a lead piece. So there's, you know, the tinier the detail, they're gonna go copper foil.
Okay, I wonder, I don't know if they can see this. Can you guys see the polka dots on that lampshade up there?
Yes.
So that's a really funny thing. Those are all post 1982 pennies that we've fired between sheets of glass. And what happens is they're no longer copper, they're zinc. So the pennies will react and bubble
explode.
up, and they do some really neat stuff. So we used to have a jellyfish in here, but we just sold it this week. So this is a lamp. And if you look really carefully, you see one penny that looks still like a penny. That was one we read the date wrong. It was before 1982, so it's still copper.
It's a story piece now. That will go in our dining room one day.
Wow.
Yeah. And then let's see, you've got your fun class. Show her the fish, show them the fish that we just.
So I just finished a class where, so all the glass we use, especially in the fusible glass, we keep down to the tiniest little piece. We never throw any of it away because all of that glass will stick to the other glass. And people come in, I give them this little shape, the little oval, and then they start putting stuff on it out of the scrap bins and they make fish. So basically it's called Fish Frenzy, but it's a scrappy fish class. No thought behind it. I actually make those bubble lips, which have a long backstory to them. and they love the bubble lips, but I like the creation, coming up with totally different and cool things that are fun. They're not normal, traditional stained glass that people like to do. And those are the classes that my weird students like me love to come and take. So we do have a lot of fun. The website is loaded with tons of classes. And I'm trying to think of, so besides Jellyfish has been a mainstay, and I looked back, oh my gosh, we have been doing it forever. And I'm so surprised because it feels like yesterday that we started doing Jellyfish. And a gentleman way up Northern California, actually by accident, I ran across him and he told me how to do them. He came in about 1.5 years ago and saw what I've changed. And I actually gave him one of my Jellyfish and the instructions to change his. So it's an amazing, small and huge world we live in with, artists and people willing to share their love with others. So trying to think of, we have the Chimes class. As far as using those, the only thing you have to know how to do, so Jellyfish, you can come in, no knowledge, 2 classes. One, you design your colors, what you want to do. You learn how to cut your circles, your strips and everything. Then you come back for the second class and you actually do all of the assembly on it. This class here, these are some wind chimes that we have. Here's a very large wind chime, which will be a little easier for you guys to look at. That I blew up from a regular class pattern. So on that class, it is a cutting experience required. That class is actually, how many classes?
3.
3 classes. But you get to pick out all your colors, do all your designs, and then in the end, again, come put it together where it hangs, hopefully absolutely perfect to do the chiming on it. The cutting, when people don't know how to cut, will actually set up a private lesson with me. I will teach them to cut glass, and then they can come and join our class.
Kristen and Cindy, Penny has a question for you.
Sure.
What's that?
So my daughter lives in Houston and she comes to visit periodically, and she's going to be here at the end of the month. But I mean, it sounds like the classes, like we couldn't do anything that we could get it done in a couple of days,
How long will she be here?
like 4 days.
Okay, and do you know what the date is?
It's the last week of March,
The 28th week or the 21st week?
of the 28th. She gets in on the 30th and she leaves on Sunday.
Oh, March 30th?
Yeah.
Oh, so she's here about 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
So if she wanted to come in, so Thursday's my crazy day because in the morning at 10 a.m., we have an El Segundo seniors workshop that got closed up where it was, and we took them in. So every Thursday morning, I have seniors in here doing massive things, depending on whatever they want to do. I have Thursday afternoons available. And what do you think she would want to do?
I mean, let's say she wanted to do something like the fused, something fused. You could put it together on the first day and then we could fire it and they could probably pick it up Saturday. So it is something that she could do.
It is definitely doable. This is, let me just show you. Not that this is something she'd want to do, but without a class, without anything special. See this piece up here?
Yes.
That is a strip of glass. And then I teach my students how to actually cut these shapes out with a pair of nippers, not a glass cutter. And I threw all that together and ended up making that beautiful piece. And that's done with mostly scraps.
So we can do stuff like that pretty much on a moment's notice if we can, if we don't have something booked. But yes, we do
Is-
sort of like a walk-in workshop sort of thing.
Is it possible to do a jellyfish?
No, because there's so many firings. I can't do it in a week. If, you know, if that was something where, you know, if we knew that she was coming and maybe you pre-picked it in the first colors and we had it all fired before she got here to assemble, that's possible, but
It wouldn't be her jellyfish without both classes.
Yeah.
And those are held 2 weeks apart. So, I mean, the first one you come in and you're actually gonna pick all this out, cut it and everything. The last one, for 2.5 hours, you're sitting there doing this assembly.
right, Mickey?
Yeah, you definitely would want to do both classes.
Yeah, you wanna create it. You wanna call it yours. You wanna pick those colors and really, really enjoy that.
How long is the beginning class? When you showed some of the, like the three, like the cocktail glass, the martini
Oh,
glass.
5
Oh,
weeks.
It's 5 weeks. It's two
Oh,
and a half
wow.
hours a week.
Okay,
I'm turning you guys back around, put this down. My arm's getting tired. It's 2.5 hours a week for 5 weeks. And then, like she said, on the third week, you have some homework to foil at home because it's no reason to have to sit there and do it here.
right.
Okay,
But
so she could do like the 9 of hearts.
Yes.
So we have a mold that holds 9 hearts that look like this. And they're about 1/4 inch thick, and you can design them any color, any way you want. And then you have 9 hearts. I love making these because people walk in the store and they either have a birthday or someone passed away or they're having a bad day. And I actually give them a hug and I hand them a heart.
And she gave me one.
Oh yes, she had a really bad accident.
And that was an eye from a piece that fell and broke,
I was gonna say, first of all, I broke her fused glass piece.
but that wasn't the accident.
And then I took it, I put it into a mold and I was saving it for Valentine's Day to give to her. And she got in a bad auto accident. And that morning I gave it to her with a hug and she has not taken it out of her pocket.
It's like my worry stone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my
But
goodness.
that's what they mean to someone. So that was a little bit off subject, but just to show you, there are lizards and frogs, and there's some really cool molds that she could put together. There are no thought at all in making these. You could put a little hook on where they can hang on a wall. When Kristen said we have like 200 molds, it could be a plate or a bowl. There's a lot she could do.
Okay, Paul, you have a question?
Yeah, I was just gonna make a suggestion for Penny. If your daughter comes up with a design and the size, they might be able to help you where she comes in and assembles it.
Well, learning to solder is a tough thing to do in
Right.
one,
In
Yeah,
one
that,
sitting, yeah.
that would
Sure.
be,
but we might be able to help her to do either a mosaic or a fused piece, like a fused mosaic, kind of like the waves. So
Mhm.
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
or I could teach her if it's something that she would want to do. And you brought in an 8x10 frame. In my first
Wow.
mosaic class, they actually take it home. And when she comes out again, she could bring it out and do the final grouting on it. But she would at least know how to do that and have something, if she has the time or the will, that she could actually do at home. See, for me, this is my opinion. Out of all the, between stained glass and mosaics, mosaic to me is the art. No two mosaics will ever look alike. I gave plenty of people my flowers
The pattern.
as far as the pattern went. Mind blowing what came back, you know? There are no, it's like a brush stroke in painting. You always know someone's art. Stained glass, that's a skill. It's almost like building a cabinet or a table or anything like that. You learn the skill. What makes it beautiful or special may be the colors you choose. But anybody could buy that same glass you did and do that exact same pattern you did and have an identical piece. So that's my love of mosaics and why I keep talking about it. And I wanted you to understand it's an art.
Well, I will reach out to you separately. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Okay.
And I will tell you that depending on what part of Houston, there is a phenomenal stained glass place called Harmony Stained Glass in Pasadena, Texas, not too
Okay.
far away from Houston. And because I belong to a group of retailers around the world that have stained glass stores, small businesses like us, and you have to teach classes. And we refer all over the place. So Costa Rica to England to lots of places in the US. So it's a great resource.
Well, there's a stained glass artist in Houston near her in Montrose who has an Airbnb. And we stayed
Oh.
there when we went to visit her last fall. And all of the windows are stained
Oh.
glass. I mean, all of the cabinets are stained glass. It's just gorgeous.
Oh,
That's
very cool.
awesome.
Very cool. I'll have to see if my friend knows anything about it. So, and I guess the only other thing I was supposed to talk about was, our experience with COVID. Real quick, we shut down, the March 18th, like everybody else. And we were shut down. I had to lay everybody off. And we were lucky enough to realize that because we do custom windows, we were considered an essential business for the construction industry. So at the end of June, although we couldn't do our classes, we were able to reopen. But in the meantime, we had been doing a bunch of backdoor sales. People were emailing us. They wanted to do crafts. They were stuck.
Most people have my text number, so.
So they were texting, they were emailing, they were, leaving messages, and a couple days a week, we'd come in and we would set up a table outside and they would just come pick up. So
Or
they,
the front door
or the front door, yeah. Or we actually,
of our house.
yeah, if you haven't figured out, we're roommates also.
Yeah.
It just makes life really easy. And it really was great for COVID. But yeah, we gave people our home address. Okay, we'll bring it home, come pick it up off the porch,
Wow.
because we were trying to keep people, of course, interested and give them something to do.
Well,
So,
yeah, thank goodness that you
yeah,
were an essential business. I mean, that
yeah,
you could keep working and,
yeah,
That's great.
absolutely.
yeah.
So, all right.
And
Great.
they also offer like team building programs, and if you're super careful, you can also bring a little bit of wine and have a team building event.
Oh, yeah,
or-
private parties.
Birthday parties.
Birthday parties. We had a bridal shower. They all did jellyfish.
Yeah, it was a 3-week-long bridal shower because
We have 12-year-old birthday parties. I mean, we do, yeah. Those are the fun ones where you guys get to bring food and drinks, but you gotta share.
yeah. So, but yeah, we do that. We did more of that before, of course, COVID, but
We've been doing
we've
quite a
been doing
bit.
quite a few again.
Yeah.
So, which is nice. Mostly family bubbles. Now it's getting to be a little bit bigger, which is nice because we missed having all the people in here. And
Yeah.
for quite a while, we had, all the plexiglass barriers between each student just trying to teach. And it's really nice to have those down. So,
Yeah. Well, thanks, you guys. Can I see a picture of Bob and Astrid's door again?
yeah. let me pull it up.
Bob, do you mind? She
I
has it
think
on
they
her
left.
phone, but we look at it.
I think they left.
Oh, they're here.
Oh, okay. They're not showing up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I got a shot of it if you want.
Oh, there you
You
are.
have a shot of it, Bob? On your computer? Do you need me to share?
Now, let me share my screen.
Okay. All right.
Little, I know, but yours comes up a little different.
He's
You
gonna share the
should
screen. I'm
be-
sure he's in the one who sent me the picture.
You should be enabled.
There it is.
There,
Wow.
oh, there.
Love it.
Okay, and then I do this. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
that's it. Yeah,
Beautiful.
Very nice.
yeah, we
Much
got,
better.
and when we did this, we actually, some of you who have been to our home before, we used to have a piece of reeded glass in this front door. This is our entryway. And so that's what sort of gave us the idea. And then Astrid said that she wanted to do stained glass. Damn it, we're gonna do something.
For my birthday in 2020.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was your 35th birthday, right?
All right, her 35th, but she didn't get it till her 37th.
Oh,
But Christmas, it didn't happen either.
Yeah. So we were working
Wow.
on it. It's yeah.
beautiful, really beautiful.
wow. Well, this must have been interesting process for the fact that, I mean, you designed it
Yeah.
and then Kristen and Cindy had to,
Well, we helped with the providing colors, and they ended up choosing their colors because it's really got to be a piece of art for your own home.
oh, yeah,
I can't pick colors for you.
right.
And of course, we're limited in colors and textures. They don't make it in every shade, which I think that, Bob, you guys completely changed your color palette originally, right?
Yeah. You can see here, I just blow it up. And different textures. Now this pebble, what do you call that, Kristen? That's sort of a pebbly kind of a.
I think that's what's called a Wismec Classique color.
Yeah.
Texture. And then
Yeah.
there was the light blue, the bigger pieces are English muffle.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
And then we have this deep indigo color here that was just gorgeous. Yeah, it goes
This is
along
doing
here.
it no justice.
no, it really isn't. It's beautiful, but it's so much more beauty. And just to let you guys know, who I forgot to mention, which I really shouldn't have, is Raul. Raul
Yes.
has been
Oh,
working,
Raul,
The artist.
he's our guy. He is.
No, not the artist, but
he,
he's our skilled worker, our amazing glass god.
yeah, he cuts amazingly well. He works very well. He's been there longer than either one of us.
Yes.
Wow.
And he's a phenomenal man. He's
Yes.
just a sweet man.
Terrific guy.
Very nice
Yeah,
guy.
yeah, we love him.
Well, you
Very humble.
definitely, you get so drawn into this just because of the bend and the curve of everything. You know,
Yeah.
and you kind of keep moving with the door. You just like,
True.
Well, because
it's
we
beautiful.
live close to the beach, we wanted the waves, the sand, and
And the sunsets.
And the sunset.
Yeah,
So that's
Yeah.
really our abstract sort of the coast.
it
California.
is. It's
Right.
beautiful.
So, and they did a fabulous job. And this is not easy because if you do something, a design that is more organic, like, you know, a
Mhm.
tree and or a flower with leaves or something, you know, there's a lot of artistic license. So, you know, maybe it goes this way, maybe it goes that. But this was based on a grid that was distorted. And so you have to go through and make sure that the spaces are correct and so on. So it started with a design that I did, gave it to Kristen. They did a big full-size pattern. And then that's what Raul worked with.
Yeah.
To
Yeah,
get it.
Raul does our cutting and our assembly. And
99% of our repairs,
Oh, God, yes.
99% of our custom work.
One of the days that he came over, he showed me a repair that was taking back. It was a panel which was not this large, but about half the width and fairly tall, and it was next to somebody's front door. And you see
Yes.
where people will put stained glass on either side of their front door, right? Well, apparently these people had a massive dog that decided to charge the front door and put his paw right through that gorgeous window.
Oh, my God.
That was in
Wow.
pieces. That was
Wow.
in pieces. So, note to self, don't
Yeah,
put stained glass. And now this is actually sandwiched between two pieces of tempered glass.
mhm.
Yes.
So that
Okay.
protects the stained glass and from, damage and other issues.
I
And
see.
it gives some soundproofing too, which is nice.
Security.
As
Security.
well as temperature, although it's not that
Right.
good. But anyway,
Yeah.
so yeah, it works like double glaze.
Right. Well, thank you for sharing, Bob. Can you
Sure.
bring us back to,
That's
can
gorgeous.
you bring us back to full screen?
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah, it's kind of nice for me to see it installed too,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because often it's Raul doing it and I take a picture, like
Yeah.
I showed.
Oh my gosh. Well, this is great. Thanks you guys so much. And thank
You're
you,
welcome.
Mickey. I'm so glad you took that jellyfish class.
Well, like I said,
Okay.
anytime if you guys want to check out our website,
Yes.
Work on the fundraiser.
and we'll work on trying to figure out the fundraiser. I've just never done one to try to figure that out yet, so I don't know how the logistics go.
Yeah,
You know-
we'll figure it out, or we'll just have to come and maybe sip some wine and just make something fun.
There you go. That works too.
Red.
That works too. That works
Yeah,
too.
one of the more fun things is just go by the shop and have them show you these amazing pieces of glass.
Yes.
Yes.
It's just so cool. Just start
Yes.
pulling stuff out of the shelf.
Well, I know, I know. Patty and I have been there. We've pulled out a few, we've bought glass. We
Yeah.
definitely, you do get caught up. I mean, the textures and colors and,
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah.
and honestly, you guys are so organized. You talk about you have this small space, but you guys are so organized in your space.
Thank you.
It's lovely to walk
That's
in.
my
'cause you
job.
really can see everything. Is that?
Yeah, her job is to make sure I put everything away too,
There you go.
to keep it
Oh,
organized.
so, so there's someone that has to put things away. Oh,
Oh, yes.
know
All
that.
the time. So,
That's
right,
hard. Well, thanks you guys so much.
Thank you.
I'm offering for you guys to stay, but I know you're in the shop, so it's time to go home.
Yes,
I
we've got a cat waiting for us, so.
Gotcha. Well, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
We'll be in touch
Thanks.
again.
All
Thanks.
right, bye-bye.
Tell
Yeah.
us who you are when you come in.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.